Hello everyone, you are on the Player Review Team channel. After reviewing a card for the Oligarchs, we decided to get a little closer to the people and review Dávid Hancko for a quite democratic 60,000 coins. We know many of you like this card, so what makes him so good? Let's figure it out. The Slovak has a lean body type, standing 188 centimeters tall, and his build is most similar to Rudiger and Militao. But unlike them, he has +2 for the club, which makes his chemistry easier. That is useful, given the rarity of Slovak players. Our guy has no pace split, which is always important for a lengthy defender, and there is no need to experiment with chemistry styles because Shadow will be the optimal choice. We note power header, long ball, and a number of decent defensive playstyles. Another useful point, you can switch the Slovak resident to left back and use him as a stay-back fullback, although his best role still looks like central defender. Guys, Weekend League already starts this week, which means it is time to grab the best rewards. If you thought about boosting your account and at the same time having the chance to watch the stream, write to us. Contact is in the video description. As you surely know, pace is vital everywhere on the pitch this year, and central defenders are no exception, especially if you play with a high line. We definitely can't say Hancko is slow since he is lengthy without a pace split, but at times he really lacks that extra pace to recover his or others' mistakes. The same applies to active jockeying, meaning his speed on the jockey is decent but still not quite enough. However, this is not about the hero of this review, but the game itself. Many complain about the low jockey speed even with the playstyle, and we agree. Players don't turn fast enough despite what was promised in the trailer. In any case, you can't avoid jockeying, so you need to use it regularly to catch passes or stop opponents trying to run through solo. But regarding automation, don't rely only on jockeying, because in one episode, Hancko might shut down Mbappe hard on the first touch, and in another, he might play soft and let Pina through with an obvious result. That said, using the L2 shield works reliably, meaning when intercepting a pass, the Slovak confidently pushes anyone off the ball while holding L2. Tackling in this game is harder, so you really need to work for a clean tackle. Thankfully, he has Silver Anticipate, which sort of makes it easier. Sort of, because Anticipate is not as crucial at this moment as body type and pace. Still, it helps inside the box, since it sometimes triggers wider animations. By the way, right now we'd recommend using tactical defending instead of advanced. From our feel, it brings more benefit. Back to our guy, it's worth pointing out the clear lack of blocks. Hancko, if he does stick out a leg, often does it without much effect. For example, just look at this silver block from Militao, or rather, the jump animation itself. Of course, if you time your positioning perfectly and face shots head-on, most likely you'll be fine. But in general, his blocking feels lacking. On the positive side, interceptions work fine even without the playstyle. But let's turn to sliding tackles for a moment. For example, here the slide was too soft and led to a dangerous chance. Now notice the sharpness and aggression of the sliding tackle when pressing R1, and it didn't even lead to a foul or card, so you should definitely take this combination into your toolkit. And here's more. A slide tackle with 1R from Militao, who doesn't even have the playstyle, still produced a fast animation. One last thing to mention are his silver long balls. They really simplify building out from the back, especially with active flanks. And yes, as said, our guy can play at left back, but there he will definitely lack pace even with a stay back role. So what can we say in conclusion? The price is good and the card is solid overall, despite the critique in some episodes. But if you still haven't completed his SBC, try his regular rare card first. Of course they differ, but those who immediately built the Slovak did it because they had already tested his earlier version. So if you even somewhat like his base card, then it makes sense to do the SBC. And as we recently found out, basically everyone who completed this SBC was satisfied. Still, let's be honest, we prefer Militao. He played shoulder to shoulder with Hancko across 20 matches and was more noticeable, and his silver blocks saved us a few times. Rudiger also feels a bit more reliable. Same with Araujo, although those guys do have a slight pace split which makes their initial burst not as sharp, but still, we wouldn't swap them out. So on one hand, most people who completed Hancko's SBC praise him, but we are not entirely satisfied. Anyway, for now, we won't be removing him from our RTG squad and we'll try to get used to him. Maybe he will show more later. In the meantime, leave your own impressions of this card if you completed him, and write us if you still have questions, we'll try to respond quickly. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss interesting reviews. Reminder, the detailed ratings for Hancko will be waiting for you tomorrow here on our Twitter. Thanks for watching until the end and see you in the next videos.